Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. Today's show is Pharmaceutical Safety and You, Part 2, ladies and gentlemen. Hurry back and join us. Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing Part 2 of Pharmaceutical Safety and You. We didn't get a chance last time to speak to Ed Ratzenberger, so what we're going to do today is fill in some safety measures for you in reference to some home things that you may, devices that you may be using, trips away from home. And we still have with us Ike Engelbaum, the pharmacist, that will tell us more about some pharmaceutical matters, and we have some papers that we want you to check out, that they are both writers, or basically, we should say, founders of the Senior Gazette. So, want to start off with you, Ed, because we left off with some good pertinent information with Ike. We need to know some safety procedures now. So tell us a little bit about yourself and give us some ideas of some safety procedures we should look at.
Well, we have been in safety for quite a while and picked up some information along the way, and especially now that I'm a senior, I'm looking at trying to help other seniors be safe in their homes and their travels and shopping and driving and that type of thing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, ideally, when you say safety at home, start off with some safety tips at home.
Well, the main problem with injury with seniors at home is falls, but another problem that arises all the time is misuse of extension cords, and extension cords cause falls of seniors quite often because people string them across paths of travel, or they are in a position where they're not against the wall where they should be, and the seniors trip over them. But the use of the extension cords is another problem that could happen with seniors, or most anybody actually. And because extension cords become damaged over a period of time, people, instead of taking them out of the wall
Like
with
to
the
pull 'em
plug,
out.
they grab the wire and they pull,
Right.
and over a period of time, it ends up that the wiring is exposed, and people can be shocked from that.
Now, I hate to tell people this, but I almost fell a couple of days ago over some extension cords. And like you said, and I was reaching for something, lost my balance because the cord was right up under my foot. So all the cords that were sitting there, I saw them, but for some reason when I went to move to turn, when I turned, my foot caught the cord and zzz, across the room I went. Okay, but I'm all right.
You know, another thing about extension cords, the less you use them, the better. So if you've got a lamp or something that you got an extension cord and you got 9 feet of cord and 3 feet of lamp, it's better to move the lamp near to the outlet and just eliminate the extension cord.
Right. So yeah, I think people think when you're younger that it's okay to have mounds of cords everywhere. But then if you have children or you have seniors around, then they say, oh, we need to move those cords. Do you find that there's a big difference between when people decide when they should move a cord, or it should be, in general, those cords should never be there?
Well, it should be out of place, out of sight and out of the way as much as possible. And but don't put them under rugs, because if you put them under a rug, then that generates heat and you could have a fire from that.
Okay.
And another thing, coiling extension cords, that generates heat because electricity traveling through the cord generates heat. And if you coil it, then you got that much more concentration of heat there.
So a person that's making the cord go round and round and piling it on top, that's a no-no.
That's a no-no. You
all
should
these
just get a
years.
shorter cord.
Okay, look, in all these years, okay. Tell us about some of the things that you have there on the table.
Well, okay. Many times people will have a lamp on a cabinet of some sort, and they push it up against the wall, and the extension cord that goes into the outlet could be a straight shot like that. And so when they push the cabinet up, it bends the cord, and then it could damage that cord. So what people should do is get a cord like this with a flat plug on it. That way you can just plug it directly into the wall socket, and Just make it flat against the wall, and then you don't have to worry about that
Okay.
happening like
Now I
that.
notice that cord is sitting sideways. Is it because some of the units in the wall, if it's an older home, they may not have that type of prong?
Well, I mean, you talking about this or the cord?
The cord.
The
On
cord.
the cord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the.
See how
I
that's
mean-
sitting sideways?
Well, that's what
Right.
I'm saying. That that you should get it on a 90-degree angle like that,
Okay.
so that it doesn't bend when you're pushing it in with the other types of cords.
Okay. So they did that on purpose.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's designed that way. Or, if you wish, you can get one of these devices here that plugs into the. Here, I'll show you what this is. Into the wall outlet, and the wall outlet like this, and then you can either put it in this way, depending where you're using it, or you can plug it in on the side, and that way you're not going to be bending the cord again.
Okay. Okay. What about holiday Christmas trees and Halloween lights and all that kind of stuff? Do you suggest that people use the extensions or those what do they call those things? The thing you just put that in there. What is that called?
What, this?
Yes. Do they have names for those things?
Well, yeah, and
Like a 4-prong or 5-prong? Or?
no, it's just an outlet.
Okay. So when they're using their extended outlet piece, are they best if they can use them for outdoors? Because a lot of times I'm concerned about, my mother always say, hang the Christmas lights. I'm like, I'm not hanging Christmas lights. I don't want to get shocked. She doesn't understand. I'm afraid of electricity. So I'm looking at like if it's outside and it's wet, what pieces go best together?
Well, they make devices and extension cords and plugs and all kinds of items like that for the outdoors specifically.
So you really should
you-
read and make sure it says indoor,
That's
outdoor.
right, and you don't use an indoor extension cord outside.
Okay.
You will get a shock.
Right. So clearly it should say indoor or outdoor.
That's
Or
right.
it
And
says both.
read the directions. The same way with these extension cords. They have a little tag on there, and it should always say Underwriter Lab UL listed on there, because then that shows that it's a good product and has been tested, and it will give you the size of cord that it is, what kind of wattage or amperage that it can carry.
Okay.
Because you don't want to put a small cord like this that's used for lamps, and it tells you right on here what it's used for is for lamps and small appliances like that, for a heater that requires a heavier cord like this for the heater. And the heaters themselves could cause a fire in the home if you don't,
Oh yeah.
if you don't
You know,
use
because a lot of
this.
times I think when, especially in the cold months, people say, "Well, I've got an electric heater. I'm just going to plug this heater in this room." Do you feel that they use the wrong outlets or cords or something like that that may cause the fire? Because a lot of people say, "Well, I just had a heater, and there was nothing around it." Can it be electrical fire more or less because they use the wrong extension cord?
Yes, if they use a small extension cord, they use a heavier extension cord. And on the heater itself, there's a little label that tells you what the drawage is,
Right.
the draw is on the wattage. And so you can match your extension cord to whatever it says on that label.
So we need to start reading our labels on the extension
Read
cord.
the labels,
No,
read the
no, a lot of people are
instructions.
not reading because I'm one of them. But I'll start reading. What's this orange device here?
This here is a device for testing the amount of voltage that you would have in a outlet of the wall. And this is because a lot of seniors work on their own electrical. The men, they like changing the wall sockets and that, and some of them don't bother turning it off, that particular circuit at the circuit box, and this will tell them whether or not, by inserting it in the openings, that whether or not it's
How much
there's
wattage
power
they
there.
have?
No, how much power. This just tells you if it's on or not, and this will tell you how much watt.
Now, can you buy that? Can you buy that in your hardware store?
Oh yeah, there's so many
Okay.
different things
So
that
the orange
you
one
can buy.
is to tell you how much power you have.
That's
and
right.
The little one is to tell you if it's alive.
That's right. The newer ones actually come like this. You don't have to stick it in the prong holes, and all you do is you just turn it on, and when you can tell just by holding it near whether or not there's any power coming from that.
Okay.
They have a lot of electronic measuring devices like that now.
Okay, so that's my kind right there. Just go near it. You don't
That's
have to
right,
go
just
in
go-
it.
that's
Okay,
right.
go near it. Okay.
And they're
So
inexpensive.
now the same thing. I was going to ask you about these little plug-ins that they have safety caps for children.
Mhm.
Okay, I like those things, and I don't think they're just safety caps for children. I think they're safety caps for anybody, really.
Well, that's
so,
right.
so do they? I mean, do you suggest that people who don't use a lot of their outlets put those in and just keep
Yes,
them
it'd be a
covered?
good idea. In fact, you can get safety caps for the surge protectors and the any kind of devices like that too. They come made with them in many cases,
Okay.
and you just flip a cover that comes over it.
Okay, now that's my
Yeah.
thing right there. The power strip. I have so many of them in my house. But I tell you what, we're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with more safety tips in the homes. We'll be right back.
When I was president, diabetes affected nearly 10 million Americans. Today, more than 21 million children and adults are affected by diabetes, and another 54 million people are at risk of developing this disease. Type 2 diabetes can be prevented, and I want to encourage you to get involved and help stop this epidemic. Call the American Diabetes Association to get a special Jimmy Carter Diabetes Care Package.
And welcome to the second half of the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a wealth of information here about my being safe in the home, some things that I should know how to do when it comes to the extension cords, my heaters, and all those things. And definitely going to piggyback and get some more information from Ike Engelbaum in reference to pharmaceutical safety. So now we're still talking to Ed Ratzenberger about being careful with your electrical cords. And don't look at it just electrical cords, but look at the fact that you could cause a fire dealing with electricity, period, in the household. So some things he's telling us are to help us keep safe so that we don't have to run into such a situation as that. Now, Ed, I left off with the power strip, and I was saying something about I have so many of those in my home. Okay, what's the good qualities about a power strip, and is there any bad qualities about a
Well,
power
the
strip?
good thing is, for instance, this one shows that there's a light on here that will turn on and shows, and two green lights will show that it is grounded, which is protecting all your equipment and yourself, and it's protected. And this will turn off in case there is an overage of power draw. And what you should do is look at what you're plugging into your power strips and look on them and see how much amperage that it draws, because your outlets only cover maybe 15 or 20 amps. So it shouldn't, whatever you're plugging in there should not add up to more than that, because then you might cause yourself a fire. But with these power strips, they're designed so that they'll shut them off. It'll shut off when it starts drawing too much. And
Okay.
this particular one is made for adapters that comes
Good.
with all your, it gives you room to put
Right.
your adapter on there so it doesn't
people
cover
have
up something.
computers nowadays. You got computers, you got the modem, you've got probably a lamp. You got so many things plugged in, especially dealing with the computers or computers and the television. Okay, so do you think they're putting too much wattage on those because they may have the computer, the television, and the lamp or something else all on that at the same
Well,
time?
the only way to tell is to look at what you're plugging in and see what
Okay.
what it draws, and that's
Okay.
and
So
that
there's
way you
supposed to
can
be a
tell.
maximum on there of what you can.
Well, there's a maximum on your outlet.
Okay.
You know, and this is designed so that it will cut off before that happens.
Okay.
you know.
All right.
Now, I might mention that a lot of those extension cords that has a ground. All these extension cords have ground plugs on them now, so you should not take that off. You should not cut it off, because a lot of times you'll run into another outlet or extension cord like this outlet here is from an older home, and it doesn't have a ground plug opening on it. It only has the hot wire and the neutral.
Right.
And so you can't plug that in, so they need an adapter, and they use these little adapters to plug it in there. And this one, the wire has been taken off it, so you can't put the ground plug on there. You can't attach the grounding on it. This one has a pigtail on it, it's called, that that you can plug into and attach it. And you have to attach it to that screw there so it's grounded in your
Okay.
electrical system. So you can
Okay.
plug that in, and you can safely use the this kind of an extension cord.
Okay.
But if you take that off, then your grounding is lost on it.
I didn't know. I never knew you could take the ground that part off of there. But
Well, they cut it off with a snip.
some man would do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
some guy would do that. So.
Well, tell us the safety factor about your dryers and your heaters.
Well, heaters. There are a couple of kinds of heaters that we can use now during hot weather, and one of them is convection heater. And the convection heaters are the most efficient. They're mostly cool to the touch. They're units that contain oil or water for heating purposes, and it heats the air. And the air rises, and then the cold air comes down, so it gives you circulation in a room. Mm-hmm. And some of the convection heaters are baseboards with little fans on them, or they're uprights, or they're all different styles and designs, and so that you can move them around. But they work very well in an efficient standpoint. And the other one is a radiant heater, and those are usually, you can see the hot coils or the and the ceramics that's in it.
So people should kind of steer away from the oil type, the lamp oil type ones. I mean, I'm trying to take a nap, and I got this heater on. What's the dangerous heater that I should not leave on while I'm sleeping?
Well, of course, now, like I was going to say about the radiant heater, no, you shouldn't have any kind of combustible within 3 feet of a radiant heater. And that goes for drapes or paper or rugs or toys or anything that can catch fire. And but it's recommended for one thing that you never go to sleep with the heater on.
True.
And so so don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the electric blankets okay though?
Well, electric blankets, they're all different styles. Now, heat pads, for instance, aren't made for use like an electric blanket. A heat pad, if you put it under a blanket, that generates more heat, and you could get a fire that way. Or if you, there are people that went to bed with one of those wraps on their legs or something, and been burned even though it was on its lower setting. So you should never go to sleep with anything like that on you, and especially a heater.
Okay. We had a guest call in and ask a question about the dryer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so are we to clean the back of the dryer where the lint may fall to the back, or
what happens is that
cobwebs or something?
Yeah, that tubing that goes out from the back where that gets clogged up, and the plastic ones are the. I read an article recently that plastic ones are not what you should have on there. You ought to have the metal exhaust ducts, so that it cleans better and it moves faster and there's less static electricity, and it depends on how it's designed, or how far the duct empties the air from your dryer.
Can you look in there and see?
Oh yeah, sure.
And see if you need to have it. Now, do you blow it out, or how do you?
Well,
get
you can brush it out or blow it out, however you want to do it. There's so many different configurations.
Because I'm going to go and do my mom's. I mean,
Yeah.
I look at things that, like, if I put some clothes in the dryer for her and it's nighttime, she's going to bed. I don't think it's safe to always put clothes in the dryer and everybody goes to bed.
Yeah, right.
And you never know what happened in the middle of the night. Even though the dryer is on, you feel like, okay, well, the clothes will be dry in the morning. There is reason to be cautious, because if you have lint buildup or something like that backed up, it could cause a fire.
That's right.
Okay.
And they also have those lint traps on there that people often don't clean out, and that should be cleaned out all the time too.
I can understand how a person don't clean out the lint trap. Okay, but where the lint trap is, there's sometimes a rim of lint around there. Do you think that, or suggest that everybody should clean all that off and keep it as clean as possible?
I'd clean off as much lint as you could.
Okay. So I'm always concerned about, little things that trigger up. Not too long ago, I was at my mom's house, clicked the light on, I saw some smoke coming out of the switch. And I'm standing there looking, and I'm like, this switch is smoking. So my mind said it's possible it could cause a electrical fire. Called a friend of ours, came over, and they had to take off that part. And sure enough, it was frayed or whatever. Is the word frayed under there?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, or it came loose, whatever.
Okay. Smoke under the light switch. Okay. Okay, well, we're going to take a break. And ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we're going to talk some more with these two gentlemen and get an update on what these wonderful magazines will do for you if you like to order a senior cassette. So we'll be right back.
America's greatness was not crafted in skyscrapers alone, but on the ground by those who could see what needed to be done. Volunteers who in service stepped forward onto the dust of the moon, the levee in the heartland, the marble steps of a dream. You may ask yourself, where's my moon, my levee, my dream? Well, it's here, with you. Step forward. Help renew America at usaservice.org.
And welcome back to the last half of the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am overwhelmed with information in reference to my medication, my parents' medication, and my friends, okay? So I want to fill in some gaps for you on a few things that I can tell us, as well as some safety tips that Ed can give us in reference to what you need to do in your home. Now, before we get to that, I want to bring up that you can always read these gentlemen's articles, both of them. Are you guys both contributing writers, or tell me about the Senior Gazette?
I'm the publisher of the newspaper, and Ed is the editor of the safety page.
Okay.
He addresses the safety page. I sort of oversee the whole newspaper itself.
Okay, and it's in color. Okay, now, if you want it in magazine style, it comes this way. If you want it in newspaper style, it comes this way. Okay, so either way it go, you can request one of these. And does it come in the mail? Can you order this?
We can actually send out a free sample, but we do have a subscription just to cover our mailing charge of like $1 an issue. But it's available in all the libraries, senior centers, and a lot of senior-friendly restaurants. But primarily, I would say libraries and senior centers. It's available for free.
Okay, you hear that word? Free. Okay, and one of the high points in this magazine, ladies and gentlemen, is that you have a list of services, information services that you can contact if you got some questions. Okay, so I'm impressed with the paper. I think you should get it. Okay, so gentlemen, thank you so much. Now, getting back to two questions for you, Ike. One is, give us some insight about taking vitamins and nutritional things that, people feel like, okay, I'm taking some vitamins, a multivitamin or D, C. What vitamins would you recommend right about in the winter months versus?
Well, first of all, if it's a senior, as a safety umbrella, the brand name is Centrum, but it's available at all the major chains under their own brand. Just check with the pharmacist, which is the one especially for seniors, that it has both vitamins and minerals in it. One of the terrible things that a lot of folks are not aware of is they hear so much stuff. Our biggest problem is that they're overwhelmed with this vitamin C doing this and what have you. The nice thing about that formula is that when it has vitamins and minerals in it, that's the best for you, because the truth is that you can take the biggest doses of vitamins, but if you don't have the basic minerals, the vitamins just pass through you. So it's important to have a good combination of both. Okay. And it's also important for you to discuss with the doctor and the pharmacist what nutritional products you take. Because believe it or not, some nutritional products, fortunately just a few, not many, can actually have a diluting effect to some of the prescription drugs. In other words, you're taking a prescription drug and the nutritional product is diluting the effect and avoiding it. So it's like a lot of things. Surround yourself by knowledgeable people. The pharmacist now has, by law, must have a consultation little area. So it's not like the old days where you sort of stood on one leg to try to get to the pharmacist. Likewise, so they have room for you. Likewise, now a lot of the major hospitals are opening up actual sessions in the afternoons, and if anyone is interested, they can contact you, and I can tell them which hospitals have like senior afternoons where you can ask whatever is under the sun.
That's good. That's good, because a lot of people don't know. So this will, give them a chance to say, well, I need to ask some questions. So I don't know, I won't be able to see my doctor until the next month or next 2 months. This way they can have consultation with the pharmacist to find out what's
I'd
going
like to add, I'm really excited that I just teamed up with Health Inforama, which you've seen there. Actually, they're called Project Health. Usually it's always been just once a year where you go to these malls and they've got all the tests and what have you. And fortunately, I put a team together that we can now go to any senior center, any community center, If we get enough advance notice, I can bring in a team of healthcare providers, do free blood pressure testing, cholesterol testing, because the pharmaceutical companies gave me a grant to promote this. So it's inexcusable, anyone watching this program, if they're near a community center or a senior center, they call you, I can make arrangement at their nearest center to do that.
And we're going to hold you to it because I know somebody's going to call.
All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
I'm going to ask you a question in reference to pills dispensers, the type of
The
dispenser.
7-day medication.
Right, because
organization.
this one right here, I noticed we got a picture of one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this one, hey, it's a little busy for me, but tell me about this particular.
That's actually a high-tech. We have a low-tech
High-tech.
version, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we've got one that's it looks like a clock, and it's a computer. It actually dispenses the medicine up to 4 times a day with the time, and believe it or not, it beeps you to remind you to take your medicine, and the cavity opens up so you can get your medications, and then it closes up after an hour. Now, it's self-contained, and we've got healthcare providers, home care agencies we work with throughout the state, and if they want to have a human being monitored 24 hours a day, that there is an additional monitoring fee, but it's very affordable.
So this one's pretty much run by, is it batteries or electrical?
There's electricity, and it has a battery backup in case the electricity gives out.
Okay. I was just checking it out, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a lot of different devices you can use, but this one in particular just gives you the idea that, hey, if you don't remember, we remember because it's been programmed in time.
Right.
Oh, okay,
Right.
okay. Now, before we wrap up, Ed, is there anything that we need to know, another safety tip or something you would suggest our viewers to do?
Oh, that's a good question. Concerning home and falls, for instance, people, seniors, that's the main problem with seniors, and the thing that they ought to really look out for is the stairs that they're going up and down all the time. And you should have a light switch at the top and the bottom so there's enough light. And also they shouldn't be wearing floppy slippers when they're going up and down the stairs.
No more flip-flops. Okay.
And don't put anything on the stairs to carry up later or to bring down so that someone doesn't trip over it. And the kinds of falls that they might have in their front room may be their pets, might be paper on the floor, it could be, like we said, extension cords, it could be the tables that the way they set it up. We need to start
clearing our pathways more.
That's right.
Okay, have more clear paths. Because my father flipped over a chair.
Yeah, if you bump into something, then you might fall the next time.
Yep. So
Right, to wrap it up, how medication and what Ed's advice is ties in, a lot of times we were talking before about whether you're allergic to medicine. One of the other things that people don't address much, if you're taking a medication and suddenly you feel a little bit dizzy, that could be because of the new medication, and that of course leads to a lot of problems in falling, is that you don't realize it. Well, I mean, I'm just not feel a little bit wheezy, and you think maybe it's a bad day. It could be medication related. Check with a pharmacist, and then you are that much more alert as you go down the stairs or around your home.
all right. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you both so much for joining us, okay? And our viewers will be making contact with us to ask us more questions, and we'd love to have you back, okay?
Thank you.
So thank you
It's
both.
been a delight.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you, but if it was me, I'd be on the phone or on the emails trying to find out more information in reference to being safe with my medicine, being safe in my home. And you don't have to be a senior. You just want to be safe, okay? So what do I always say? I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. If you know someone with a disability or if you just have a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. I'm your host. Thank you.